power in the media is invariably held by men. Women's issues are often relegated to special sections in the media. Many newspapers still have a women's section in the media where all issues related to women are put in that corner. The portrayal of women are often sexist, for example, in TV dramas that emphasize the housewife or the mother as the ideal woman. And violence of women also occurs in the media. Only 24% of the people heard or read about in print, radio, and TV news are women. The women's presence in the foreign news has increased to match their presence in the local news, so that's one thing. Otherwise, we are seen nowhere in the world. The news, however, continues to portray a world in which men outnumber women in almost all occupational categories, and the highest disparity being in the professions. So an engineer, doctors, etc., you see mostly men and rarely women. However, women are creating content, and I think this is where we have an opportunity to advance the way women are portrayed.
The gender equality policy became a national policy. Through the Cambodian Millennium Development Goals, the government has committed to eliminating gender disparities in wage employment in all economic spheres. Based on the national policy framework, the Ministry of Women's Affairs has developed its 5-year strategic plan called Neri Ratana, or in English called Women Are Precious Gems, which aims at strengthening the political, social, and economic empowerment of women and gender mainstreaming in national, sectoral policies and reform programs.
El 2 de julio de 2010, en un momento histórico, la Asamblea General de las Naciones Unidas decidió por unanimidad el establecimiento de la entidad de las Naciones Unidas para la Igualdad de Género y el Empoderamiento de las Mujeres. La creación de esta entidad ocurre después de una espera de 36 años. ONU Mujeres, el nuevo organismo para la igualdad de género y el empoderamiento de las mujeres, es el producto de la fusión de 4 entidades dentro de la Organización de las Naciones Unidas. Estas entidades han tenido éxitos, fracasos, avances, retrocesos, limitaciones, esperanzas y desalientos. Pero ONU Mujeres nace con la voluntad política y el apoyo decidido para dotarle de un mandato claro e inequívoco y su incorporación en los espacios de toma de decisiones al más alto nivel dentro de la estructura del sistema de las Naciones Unidas, y la promesa de recursos suficientes que permitan atender las demandas y consolidar su presencia en los países.
There is a custom called Karwa Chauth, which a day of fast kept by married women for longevity of her husband. Originally, this ritual would have come into existence because women were supposed to be nothing more than an extension of her husband's identity, leading to anti-feminist customs where one spouse's life was invaluable and the other partner just did not matter. Nevertheless, with changing economic situation and women becoming progressively educated, the attitudes are changing, with husbands pampering wives, keeping sympathy fast, cultural awakening, filtering of cultural norms, biases, tackling poverty, improving literacy, increasing awareness and advocacy program for understanding the significance of the girl child is the need of the hour. Academic institutions, women's studies centers, on various universities in India, NGOs, civil society and the government are working together to bring about a culture of peace in all the sectors of development such as social, economic and political and spiritual as well from a gender perspective.
The promotion rate of female students up to secondary education and even unto the tertiary level in Korea indicates that the female students are no longer a minority group in terms of equal opportunity in education compared to their male counterparts. Even though a compulsory education is provided just up to a middle school, the Koreans put a lot of value on education. This has had a positive impact on women's access to education. However, if one looks at the quality with gender equality, it is revealed that a path to the achievement of gender equality seems to be still remote.
As an anthropologist, I very much welcome the notion of dialogue. Because as an anthropologist, dialogue is so much integral to the method of anthropology. You know, the first thing that we learn in anthropology is to go and live in another society and suspend or try to suspend our judgment and try to understand the life and values from the point of view of people. But then as we progress in anthropology, we gradually realize that we never can sustain our judgment totally. We always see the other through our own cultural lens. And for me, this is unique value in anthropology, because anthropology makes the familiar in your own culture strange and the strange in another culture familiar. And at the end, we come to see that we share quite a lot. But there are certain conditions to a meaningful and constructive dialogue. To have a dialogue, the two parties must accept each other and also must start the dialogue from the point of equality. To enter a dialogue, we must be ready to listen to the other side and also be ready to change our position if appropriate. And I'm sorry to say that this has not been the feature of dialogue between East and West as long as the Muslim East is concerned. Too often, on both sides, we really come across very entrenched positions. Each side, you know, knows the truth, and the dialogue does not progress a lot.
When I get up in the morning, I usually listen to the newscast. And it is, unfortunately, very frequent that the newscast here in Spain, in my country, which we are proud for all these successes, starts too frequently with news about the death or injury of women that have been vandalized, killed, or abused by their male partners. As a man, Spanish man, I feel ashamed and horrified. We have to do something together. Equality and end of violence is not only the cause of women, it's the cause of men who believe that women and men are partners in our common identity, that is to be human beings.
Todo diálogo, todo camino es un camino hacia uno mismo, hacia ser persona y por tanto ser persona por encima de hombre o mujer. Y en ese sentido, en este viaje hacia la plenitud del cielo, a no conformarnos con que el cielo no tenga una de sus mitades, que es la de las mujeres, tenemos que partir necesariamente de las ideas fuerza que orientan este diálogo, que son las de igualdad de género y desarrollo.
For my dreams to take flight, I must study. For the battles I must fight, I must study. To win independence, I must study. To fight frustration, I must study. To find inspiration, I must study. To make a world where girls belong, I must study. Because I'm a girl, I must study.